Hello, everybody. I'm Izure Isk, and I'm finally getting to watch the first chapter of Volume 5. I've actually managed to stay surprisingly spoiler-free on this, which is kind of amazing, actually. Anyway, I'm going to hit the button.
The city of Mistral.
Hey, Crow.
It's about time.
Nora.
Whose idea was it to walk again?
Not sponsored.
Well, we did face many obstacles. Broken airships, destroyed settlements.
Oh, and, all those people and monsters that tried to murder us.
We were fine. Only one of us almost died.
Hey.
Hey.
So how much farther to Haven Academy?
Almost there. I'd have figured I'd take you kids on the scenic route.
Through the sewers? Okay. I mean, well, Crow's not exactly the greatest person, so...
Wow! This is...
That's actually pretty cool.
That's certainly something.
Oh my gosh, look at all the weapons!
Vendors here will sell you just about anything, whether they should or not.
They really
I'm not sure what I think about that.
Every inch. And stay away from the lower levels. But the higher up you go, the nicer it gets.
And we are going up.
So I don't know if I like that choice of the still frame.
So, how much farther?
We're in the home stretch now. No more stops from here to Mistral. Sorry for the long trip. Keeping us off the radar's been harder than I thought. Lots of air traffic around northern Anima.
It's fine. I just hope I haven't been a burden.
You and your money are more than welcome on this ship, kid. What the?
Is everything okay?
I don't know. I'm still over Lake Matsu. Shouldn't be picking up broadcasts this far from Mistral. Someone must be close.
Mayday! Mayday! We are a small passenger flight and our Huntress is down! We aren't equipped to deal with this!
Oh, man.
The Grim hit us 400 clicks north of the southern shoreline. Get him off us! If anyone can hear this...
We're going to help them, right?
What? No. I'm trying to avoid them.
But they'll die.
Look, if we picked up their transmission, I'm sure someone else did too. Besides, this is a cargo ship. She's not much good in a fight. I just want to finish this job and get home. Sorry, kid. My ship, my rules.
It's not an incorrect answer, quite honestly. The only thing he can do is lose his livelihood and life. Not worth it. I do like this style of... or this style, anyway. At least of the structures. To me, they have a lot more character in it, cookie-cutter houses. Oh, it's actually a school.
We made it.
Nice. And then we have Lionheart the Coward. And where's everybody else?
Hello?
Imagine that might be what Crow's thinking. Where's everybody else?
Hello?
Maybe try louder?
There doesn't seem to be anyone here.
Well, I guess school isn't really in session.
Also,
right now.
Lionheart being
Maybe that's it.
No, this isn't right.
traitor.
Come on.
Wait for us!
Get ready. There could be trouble.
Professor Lionheart?
Crow! For crying out loud, you nearly scared me half to death!
Me? Why weren't you waiting for us at the entrance?
Huh? Oh, right. Apologies. I guess time slipped away from me.
You're joking.
Where is everybody?
Ah, you must be the students Crow mentioned.
Yes, sir. Ruby Rose.
Jean Arc.
Nor Valkyrie.
Lyren.
A pleasure to meet
A lot of
you.
character in those introductions,
Leonardo
actually.
Lionheart at your service. I'm afraid most of my staff is currently away until classes resume, but...
What? Leo, you can't be serious. Who's guarding the relic?
Crow, the children!
Already know. I filled them in. What do you mean your staff is away?
You filled them in?
So, is this not going at all like anyone thought it would?
Nope, just you.
Unbelievable!
Total garbage. We can't let them get away with this!
Well, at least you two can finally agree on something.
Ah, Gira. He's not happy about that.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Good evening, miss. Can I get you anything?
Just a little time to myself, if that's all right.
Sure thing. Just call if you need me.
Blake
You
being
need
the
better security.
one of support.
Please, I just need to talk.
How could you take the fall for them, Ilya?
Blake.
Corsic and Finnick blamed you. We confronted them tonight and they denied knowing anything, and everything we found on your scroll, it talked about how disappointed they were to hear that you'd sided with Adam. But you and I both know they're guilty.
You can't prove anything.
That scroll might not
Depends
have
on what
been
court.
enough to lock them up, but it's enough to sway the Faunas here. When we go public tomorrow, they're not going to stand for any of it. And neither should you.
Your plan isn't gonna work, Blake. Please. Just leave Menagerie before it's too late.
You're going to have to make me.
I know.
A ninja?
I have to say, Crow, this all seems very reckless, even for you.
No,
John with his back to the
leaving
wall.
one of the relics completely
Nor and
unguarded.
Rain on the
It's not
couch.
checking in with Oz for ages.
There was nothing to check in about before the fall of Beacon, but since that day, Mistral has been in chaos. Vale wasn't the only kingdom to suffer that night. Everyone was watching. Every house in every kingdom saw that poor girl ripped to pieces, saw monsters
jeez.
crawling over the city, Atlesian knights attacking citizens, and then nothing.
All the jokes have a use.
You could feel the dread in the air.
That didn't hurt too
With
much.
all that negativity, you can imagine what it was like when the Grimm came for us. Mistral's controlled territory is the widest reaching in the world, you know, and that makes it infinitely harder to protect. We lost so many great huntsmen, teachers from this very institution. And it's only gotten worse.
What do you mean?
We may have dealt with the Grimm, but the Mistral Council's still at odds with representatives from Atlas. First, it was the dust embargo. Next, the closing of borders. I'm not sure what happened to James in Vale, but it seems to have only worsened some of his more unfortunate tendencies.
Actually, he's the one making sense.
And on top of everything, we still don't know where the Spring Maiden is.
Apologies, I'm gonna pause this. I know a lot of people don't like it. but I want to get my thoughts out while they're still in my head before they vanish. I would feel a lot more sympathy towards this guy if he wasn't siding with the people that did destroy Beacon, and I imagine he's trying to play both sides, which will end up interestingly, based on what we saw in the end of the last volume. However, clear up a couple things. Is that while their tactics are rather destructive, I'm of a mind that Salem and Team Witch actually do have or at least have better intentions than, Oz's lackeys, or flunkies, however you want to phrase it. Because we've seen both Crow and Ozpin lie. We've seen Ozpin sacrifice a number of things just to, get his way, including, Team RWBY, Pyrrha, Amber. Quite honestly, of the ones I've seen so far, of the headmasters or leaders, it's Ironwood I have the most respect for. Because if nothing else, he's at least honest to what he believes. Anyway,
all the
moving
more
on.
reason we need the huntsman and huntresses here.
Okay. Things are bad. They're bad.
Huh.
But we can figure this out. Why is the Spring Maiden so important?
Ruby's awful presumptuous.
Thought you filled them in.
Mostly filled in. Look, there's a lot to cover, okay? I quit teaching for a reason.
Still drinking. And Ruby's not a fan of conflict, which is interesting.
Power to perform feats of magic. And they are the only ones capable of reaching the relics.
What? The relics are each locked inside a chamber that can only be opened by a specific maiden. Winter for the gift of creation, summer for destruction, fall for choice, and spring for knowledge.
Interesting mix. Or interesting
Spring
pairing.
is the problem.
What happened to her?
She was determined at first, when she inherited her powers. But the weight of responsibility proved to be too much for the child.
Quote from a book series I've been listening to.
Ran. Abandoned her
A
training.
duty heavier than a mountain, death lighter than a feather.
That was over a decade ago. There's no telling where she could be now.
I know. At least, I have a pretty good idea.
Are you serious?
It's not exactly good news.
What are you talking about? This is incredible news! After all these years, where?
I did some digging around. Looks like after Spring ran away, she was picked up by bandits. Specifically, the Brownwind tribe.
Raven.
Yeah?
Yang's mom?
That's right.
More surprising he knows. Quite honestly. This worked out so well last time that
That's
happened.
about where they've set up their main camp. It's where they fall back to after raids and scouting missions. Raven's managed to gain a lot of followers.
Right in the
She
center
returned
of the
with tribe.
anima?
And I'm
Really?
sure when the Spring Maiden showed up, it only made things easier.
Well, Crow, I've got to hand it to you. With these coordinates, we can mount a retrieval force and head out in a few weeks.
A few weeks?
That's right.
Leo, maybe you didn't hear me. My sister has the Spring Maiden, and I know where she is. We need to go as soon as possible.
And perhaps you didn't hear me. This kingdom is in shambles. As soon as possible does not mean tomorrow. It means as soon as I can convince the rest of the council that I need huntsmen more than they do. Unfortunately, bandit tribes aren't very high on their list of priorities when the threat of war is just on the horizon.
Then damn the council. We'll do it ourselves. You and I are trained huntsmen, and these kids aren't exactly pushovers.
Yeah!
3 of them anyway.
Perhaps there's a more peaceful way to approach this?
We need to get Spring as far away from here as possible. But Raven isn't going to give up her most prized possession without a fight.
Unfortunately, you and your sister are evenly matched, and I'm not the fighter I used to be. No offense, but these students and I can't take on an entire bandit tribe and a maiden that's no doubt had years to hone her skills. We need to be positive we can apprehend Spring, because if we fail, Raven...
I want to guess his fighting style was very in your face.
We get one shot at this, and it needs to be perfect.
He's not incorrect.
You know, Oz wouldn't be happy with any of this if he were here.
Perhaps you're right, but he's not. I'm doing the very best I can.
There has to be
That's probably
something
not a lie.
we can do.
What about Cinder? She came with Emerald and Mercury from Haven. Do you have anything on them?
We pulled their files after the fall of Beacon. Nothing but lies and forgeries.
Hey, kind of like John.
Well, I can't say this has been a warm reunion, Leo.
I'm sorry. I know you've all traveled a long way, but I will do everything I can to help.
Sure. We'll stay in the city for the time being. Local comms are still up. Keep in touch. Come on, kids.
It was nice meeting you, Professor.
Likewise.
There's Watts in the closet.
Leo, we have got to work on your improvisational skills.
Not quite the corner. Or the closet.
So, what do we do now?
He's gonna get a drink.
Back to the house. I need a drink.
Drown your problems in alcohol, because that makes things better.
Excuse me.
Interesting choice.
You know, I don't think they allow kids in here, Pipsqueak.
Shut up, I'm getting there.
Cursing at a crazy kid.
I'm supposed to tell you I'd like my cane back.
So quite honestly, Crow's about the only one that knows anything from what Ozpin has said. The others really don't.
It's good to see you again, Oz.
Poor kid. It's possessed by an evil spirit.
Aren't
Sure.
you a little young to be drinking?
Oh, water. It's hot out.
Oh, sure.
Are you telling me
Are you?
you're too young to drink? You look like a regular huntress. And a beauty at that.
I'm good. Thanks, pal.
Seriously. Not too bulky, not too lean. You're...
Just right. Yep. Like I said, I'm good.
More Goldilocks references. Nice. Dude.
And your hair.
Don't touch your hair. Rule number 1. Don't touch the hair.
This one's on the house. He's been driving me crazy. So, what brings you around these parts?
Thanks. And I'm, looking for someone.
Not many people come out here, too far from the kingdoms. Only person worth noting around here is, well, Ray.
Raven Bronwyn.
Music stops.
Now, Missy, you don't want to go messing with bandits. They're a world of trouble.
So I hear.
Hey, girlie.
Seriously? This isn't over?
I heard you're looking for someone.
We're not on a couch again. Where's the rooms? Is he gonna kick the door in like Leo?
Can I help you?
Yeah. Is there a ruby rose here?
Why?
Well...
I found him!
I think her uncle could use some help.
Oh.
Yeah?
What is going on out there? Can't a girl read her comics in peace?
Yep.
Oh, did you get drunk again?
Maybe.
Again implies he was sober at some point.
You have silver eyes.
Who are you?
Well, my name is Oscar Pine.
Wait for it.
But you probably know me as Professor Ozpen.
I did it!
Crow is a drunkard. Don't get me wrong. He can fight. He's protective of his, what he wants to protect. But he's also a drunkard. A scoundrel. Quite honestly, probably outside... We actually got to see all four of them this time. And I think in order? I can't be previews with this. So let's do a little processing. Started out... Let's see. Oh, yeah. Seeing what Haven looks like, and they used still images, which... It's an artistic style. I respect it. Kind of rather they had animated them, though. Okay. Yeah. Weiss was the second one. She's flying through. Apparently paid him a decent sum of money to be transported to Haven. And she hears about an attack out in the water. And honestly, I think the pilot made the right decision, especially considering he doesn't have any decent weaponry. He's not a fighter. He's just a guy trying to live his life. And actually, this may be the first time Weiss realizes truly that the world is not... It's that she saw it in... where she realizes that the world's not really a safe and happy place outside the kingdoms. She's always been protected. She's always been held safe. then there's also, sure, a lot of things happen at Beacon, but that was still, to some extent, in a sanitized area. Vale itself is still standing. But the kingdoms have been known to vanish. Did we not get a roll to remnant? Anyway. Skipping ahead. Buffer. I believe next, we got a glimpse into what Blake's been doing. Nope. Back to Ruby and Lionheart. Who, a lot of what he said was not wrong at face value. But he is... Now, it's also possible I may think he made the right choice as well, based on circumstances. And there's more about this that we don't know. And while I believe that Salem is more correct than Ozpin, I don't necessarily approve of the methods she goes about it. But she obviously trusts her Council of Justice, I've called it in the past, a lot more than Ozpin does his, lackeys. Which is possible, is just a matter of degree of power. When you're so powerful, you don't necessarily care if somebody, tries to backstab you. Or Ozpin, that is a concern for us, as we see with Lionheart. The one that he seems to trust fully is Crow. And we see this when he's, talking to Crow up at, in Volume 3. We see it where he's the one sent to go find Crow, and apparently he might be the only one that knows about Crow's, or to find Oz. He might be the only one to know about Pinhead's possession, or skill with possession. Forcing others to do, well, we've already seen how he can force others to do what he wants. I need to hear you say it. Meaning, this is actually your doing and not mine. Blake, we see, Sun and Gira agreeing on something. Of course, Corsic and Finnick, Alba, the two foxes. Then we see Ilya tell her to leave. And let's see if I can... And Blake basically tells her that she'll have to make her leave. Oh, too far. See if I can get the right point. Nope, before that. There.
Late. You're going to have to make me.
Right here.
I know.
Ilya still considers Blake a friend. A friend that may have hurt her. A friend on opposite sides of, a war. But still a friend. She doesn't want to either see or cause, I can see either one, hurt or cause Blake harm. And I get the feeling that, one of those three in the previous scene is going to get hurt. Either Kali, Gira, or Sun. No, that's not nice. Which is problematic at best. So you see three of the team maybe two of Team RWBY moving back together. Blake's still planning on staying in Menagerie, though circumstances change. Weiss is flying towards Mistral. See them talk, and quite honestly, he might be completely correct saying that it'll be weeks before he can do anything, even without the backstabbing part. just because in this situation, Ironwood has invoked a dust embargo, which is basically ammo and weapons. He's invoked a no-fly zone over Alice, and Vale also has one, or at least last we saw. And so there's more. And so it's a very aggressive stance. And Ironwood isn't incorrect in his actions, in my opinion. Just for the simple fact that you don't give, weapons to your enemy. But it is going to appear to others to be, I'm not politically astute. Or rather, I don't politically care. There's a difference. But the other councils are going to see this as aggressive, as a precursor to war. And we also saw on the broadcast that Atlas was preparing or was attacking the citizens of Vale. Now, we know that's not what actually happened, and the headmasters probably know that's not what happened. But teaching the citizens that Atlas Tech was not under their control, shooting at Vale and the citizens, is a lot more difficult. Seeing their airships, destroying, Cinder told Mercury to focus on the Elysian Knights, the robots. And, Crow thinks that Spring is with, Raven, which I do find it interesting that RWBY responded instantly, because, that's obvious. She's obviously heard of Raven. Jean is a little more interesting, I think. Because, while Crow or Ruby may have talked to, father's or uncle's team, no, I guess it's both. It doesn't necessarily imply that, they would talk about, specifically Raven. Blake would know because, Young actually told her. Weiss might know because she's on the team. Jean knowing is a little more curious, I think. I could see Ren and or Nora being more interested in the family because they don't, not to be too blunt, they don't have one. Or they don't have a blood family anymore. I think I consider John and possibly Team or Ruby or Team Ruby to be the family. But they don't have a blood family anymore. So I find it interesting that John is the one that made that connection. Skipping ahead some more. Then there's the scene from the end of Volume 4. Some people were thinking he might transform into Oz. I'm glad he didn't. Just because this poor boy has had enough bad things happen to him. He has been taken over. And okay. Yeah, I do like the reference to ordering a drink. That amused me. The Goldilocks references amused me. I find it very interesting because this was made before last couple weeks where a lot of this has come out. This scene with Yang being assaulted. And while it may have been a bit extreme, I can't fault it. Her response. So, and then I'm guessing this guy actually is a bandit based on both what the barkeep said and what he did. Then you have this scene where Crow's drunk and sitting there laughing hysterically. And it reminded me of a Doctor Who episode of, I believe it was Let's Kill Hitler, actually. Where you see one of her, Rory and Amy, it was a flashback talking about how you know, they weren't, the reasons why they weren't together, and she's like, and pins up in the air. And then, Rory runs off, and, shoot, I can't remember her name. People who know the episode know what I'm talking about. And she's like, and the penny drops. Just where he's sitting there, laughing, wait for it, wait for it. Let's see. And Crow falls out of the chair.
I did it.
He's like, I did it. He finally found Crow. Anyway, I've talked enough. I'm probably gonna, actually I might try splitting these up into a reaction and a recap. This idea I've been playing with. Don't know if I'll do it or not. Anyway, I'm at your risk. Have a good day. Bye!